All right, how's it going, everybody? Hope you guys are doing good. Gonna get a weekend shave in. Um, Today, I'm gonna be using a soap I haven't used in a long time. This is um, one of the first artisan soap makers that I really fell in love with. This is one of the original tubs of. Sometimes it was referred to as traditional. This is LPL, Le Père Lucien from France, and I can't remember if I shaved with this on camera, but this is one of the smaller Plissons that I just recently got. So I haven't used this in, I don't know, 3, 4 years, but have the brush shaken out. This has got a very pleasant scent. It's a little bit more herbal and fresh, a little medicinal. It's got a lot of different things in it that kind of give it the herbal quality. I think it's got lavender, rosemary, eucalyptus, tea tree. It's got some other things as well. The soap formula itself is not very complex. It's primarily I think what coconut fatty acid, glycerin, but it's just pretty much a very simple vegetal formula, and I think all of the different things that are in the scent are what I would assume in the past have given me such nice kind of like post-shave feel. I think this is probably one of the soaps that I would say I distinctively remember using a lot early on. When I started using this, I found the results to be very, very pleasing, very favorable. So I would say this specific traditional scent and the SV Dolomiti were ones that a while back my skin really enjoyed. So I think when we get through the end of this month, I'll go back to pretty much just using some SV. So maybe on my next shave, I'll be using Mystic Water. All right, so I'm going to add some water. Some more. I'm going to be doing one more shave with the Balzano blade in the Carbon Plus Plus. This is definitely not what a typical American artisan soap nowadays is going to make. A formulation like this is not going to be super fatted. The only real thing that I've seen, Cyril, who is the artisan behind Le Père Lucien, he's done some releases that include shea butter. He has done some that include, I think, the tallow, a little bit of tallow acid, if I remember, is maybe what he labels it as. I could be wrong, but he's also done a couple releases with Linus, which is I think like a farm out in France that does, is it goat's milk? Maybe donkey milk? I can't remember. I don't know that I want to push too much water in this, but I think this is probably where I should leave the lather. So we've got 2 days beard growth. I think we're going to get going here. So we'll see how the shave goes, and we can go from there to say how impressive this lather is and how well it stands up compared to some of the other stuff that I use more frequently. I used to buy every single LPL soap. I was a big fan of their stuff. So this is the Balzano blade on its 3rd use. This is probably going to be just about done. The aftershave I always enjoyed using with this soap was the Mirsal Agua Balsamica, which was a lavender, thyme, and rosemary. Thyme is also in this soap. I always describe this as if you had someone that was like a chef, or just someone that was like a passionate, home cook, that really liked to use different herbs and spices in their cooking. If they had a little home garden, if you kind of walked outside into their garden, this could be, something reminiscent of all the different spices that they could grow, in their backyard. Walk out, pick some herbs to make a meal. It's not necessarily a cologne type scent. From my understanding now, at some point, maybe it was like 3 to 4 years after this was released, Cyril at LPL, and just because this is since this is not the most super fatted, I'm just going to throw on just a tiny little dab of some cocoa butter for this second pass. But I think Cyril had to change some percentage of the fragrance over to synthetic derived fragrances. So it's been a while since I've been able to hold a tub of some new LPL in person, so I can't say for sure how different it is, but I know that the tub that I have was probably from back in 2013 or 14. And the other one that I have laying around is the LPL Rose. I'm actually just gonna get a tiny bit more lather from the tub. That should probably be fine. I don't know if that's really going to change the density of the lather. Yeah, I'm having a hard time remembering what Cyril's mother's name is, but Père Lucien is, I think, grown over the last few years. So if I remember right, whenever I kind of see them do different posts on Instagram or Facebook at different times, they've shown that they have a little mini lab, and I think that they have, different employees that work with them. But yeah, Cyril and kind of a bummer I can't remember, but both of them are very nice. I've had a chance to talk with both of them a lot through email from years ago, so they're a nice family business to support in shaving. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold off on the against the grain pass, and I'm just going to do an across the grain. Definitely not as dense as I don't know if dense would be more so related to what is the soap composed of, or does it have to do more with how all of those different oils and fats take up the water? But I'm sure if I use this a little more frequently and back to back, maybe that surface of the puck, just since it hasn't been used in years, would kind of break down a little bit, break in, and develop a little bit of a more dense lather. I don't know. So nose is always getting itchy once I get that lather on. I know sometimes this original scented version, or as I refer to the traditional, he did make an unscented version of this soap, and my apologies, you guys. See, my nose just gets really itchy. The original scent sometimes did irritate some people's skin, so that was something that I always found interesting. Not because I didn't believe that it was possible, or that I thought people were, that couldn't happen. But I just think that sometimes the idea that whenever something is using naturally derived fragrance compounds, or I don't automatically always assume that means essential oils, but kind of in that same realm. If I remember right, Cyril did work as a chemist to some degree, or had some sort of other science background. And I forgot, on this lower part of my neck, I can't really do an across the grain pass, so last little bit just to catch the bottom. We'll go against the grain and we're pretty much done. But the thought would be that maybe Cyril changed the fragrance over so that he could maybe help avoid some of those people that like the traditional scent, avoid having skin reaction or skin irritation. Okay. Paper bark is another thing that was in this. I can't remember the Latin term for it, but I want to say this is actually the first soap that I did like an official shade video on YouTube back in like 2015. I was rocking the Plisson synthetic. At that time, this was like my go-to soap. I definitely prefer this over Martin de Condré, just for my personal experience. All right. So was the lather, great? No. Was it serviceable? Absolutely. It's not quite as suitable for my skin as I think some of the other stuff I enjoy using, but it doesn't look like I got any nicks. There we go. It's nice having this Carbon Plus base plate again. Very nice. All right, I'm gonna throw on the Fougere Classique Barrister & Mann's Fougere aftershave. This one's got a nice scent to it. Some people think that this LPL traditional was kind of meant to be a little bit of a take on a Fougere. I don't know that I really have that same feeling, but doesn't mean that I don't think the Fougere, can't be paired with it. Just like I said, it's a little bit more of an herbal smell to me, with a kind of medicinal side to it. And then I'll just do a little bit more cocoa butter, just a little scrape, and we're good to go. So the plan is last week of the month, we'll do some BBS 1 shaves again with the feather, see how that blade goes. It's possible that when I'm doing those videos, I may not really do much discussion about software or brushes or anything like that. So just be a little more focused on seeing what it's like to revisit feather. And then next month really won't be doing anything too exciting. Maybe playing around with some different aftershaves or whatever, so excuse me. But still a good shave. It was nice to kind of revisit this soap. I wouldn't mind using it periodically, more so this year, just to kind of see how see if the performance can kind of waken up again. I don't know, it's probably not the best term, but like I said, sometimes I think when stuff's been sitting around for a while, it's, you know, okay to expect, you know, pretty reasonable results with them, but maybe after a little more continuous use, the puck may just have a little bit of an easier time giving up the nicer lather. I could be totally wrong, so we shall see and experiment maybe down the line. But anyway, I hope you guys have a nice weekend. I'll catch you guys sometime soon. Have a good one.